Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Eloisa Ramos, and I'm here with my friend Connie.
Hello.
Hello. So we are continuing with the study of the text of A Course in Miracles, and we left off on chapter 19, the attainment of peace, and we are on the last section of that chapter, um, which is the fourth obstacle to the attainment of peace, the fear of God. So let's go ahead and go to that section there. And oops, sorry, I was just moving some things around so I could see the screen. Okay, the fourth obstacle is the fear of God. Paragraph 1. What would you see without the fear of death? What would you feel and think if death held no attraction for you? Very simply, you would remember your Father, the creator of life, the source of everything that lives, the Father of the universe and of the universe of universes, and of everything that lies even beyond them, would you remember? And as this memory rises in your mind, peace must still surmount a final obstacle, after which is salvation completed, and the Son of God entirely restored to sanity. For here your world does end. Okay. Okay, so so our world is tied to this obstacle, the fear of God. If 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 we're able to overcome this or surmount this final obstacle, and that would be the end of our world, okay, which is a world of illusion. Remember that it's not reality. So it would be the end of the ego thought system and the world that it projects, that is illusory. So so there would be that would be the end of fear, I think. Yeah, because it says after which is salvation complete. So if there's only two emotions, love and fear, then the only thing that would be blocking peace, which is the remembrance of love, would be fear. So if we release the fear of God, then the Son of God is entirely restored to sanity. Yeah, I mean, I think the fear of God is insanity because God is unconditional love. So why would that be fearful? It wouldn't.
It wouldn't, but
No, it wouldn't.
we do hold on to that.
Yes, but that is not sanity.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's, we're looking at it in terms of healing our mind to bring it back to sanity or to true perception. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dropping the
That-
ego thought system.
exactly. So that would be the end of duality too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, number 2.
The fourth obstacle to be surmounted hangs like a heavy veil before the face of Christ. Yet as his face rises beyond it, shining with joy because he is in his Father's love, peace will lightly brush the veil aside and run to meet him and to join with him at last. For this dark veil, which seems to make the face of Christ himself like to a leper's, and the bright rays of his Father's love that light his face with glory appear as streams of blood fades in the blazing light beyond it when the fear of death is gone. The veil.
Mhm. Yeah, so the fear of God is like a heavy veil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say it's fear, just fear is the veil. Hmm.
Right. And
Yeah,
it's a distortion. So we can't, um it's distorting the face of Christ because right here at the end it says that which seems this dark veil which seems to make the face of Christ himself like a leper's and the bright brights of his father's love and light his face with glory appear as streams of blood. So to me that's the picture of the crucifixion.
mm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the heavy veil that makes it seem like um, there was that Christ was a body that suffered on the cross, and um, the I mean it's it's a pretty gory picture. um,
For sure.
yeah, there's lots of blood coming down. I mean,
Mm.
you have the thorns, on the crown of the head, so it's yeah. Uh, so so it's an identification of Christ as if it was of Christ was the body, a
Yeah,
body. Yeah.
yeah. All
Mhm.
the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Mm.
that would mean that the fear of death is gone because there's no more body identification.
Mm.
And a lot of times people misinterpret um, the idea of the crucifixion as God having killed his own son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hence the fear of God. A lot of
Well,
people,
yeah.
yeah, believe
That's
that.
yeah. Mm.
I'm, I mean, the course is really, coming from yeah, from this whole other perspective, where it's saying death does not come without our consent, meaning God is not the author of death, right? It's the ego thought system. It's a belief system that says we are no longer eternal beings of love, how the way that God created us.
Mhm.
And we have bought into that and we believe that and we identify with the body and hence we are afraid of death. And, if we believe that God is not completely loving, because what kind of God would, you know, kill his own son? Well, it would not be an unconditionally loving God.
So does in the Bible, do they refer to it as eternity for us? They
Uh,
do, don't they?
as what
As the
eternity?
Bible, that we are eternal?
Yes, it does. But,
Well, then how does that even make sense? If we
well,
think we die and that God kills us, then how can we be eternal beings?
it doesn't make sense, except that
Right.
we want to hold on to the belief that we are bodies. So we are protecting that belief and basically turning all these other ideas um, upside down in order to protect that idea. Because then you would have to believe that if we're created in God's likeness, then God would have to be a body too.
Right. Mm.
Okay, well then, how can God be both eternal and a body if the body's not eternal? Well, then they add to the error by saying, well, the body is going to rise on the last day of judgment from the grave, literally. like a zombie. You
Okay.
see, well, you see what I'm saying? It gets more and more distorted because we're now willing to question the fundamental idea that God did not create the body.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. I mean, in the Bible, it's totally contradicting itself.
Yeah. And I mean, I know the Catholic Church has a lot of those, ideas built into the theology too.
Mm, hmm
So no, a lot of it doesn't make sense. I mean, some of it makes sense. I was just at a funeral for, family friend, and um, yeah, I mean, some of it would make sense, but then all of a sudden, the
Yeah,
priest would throw something in there that was just like,
yeah,
that's contradiction, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Uh, I know what you mean about going to those services sometimes. It's like, what? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So, okay. So number 3, this is the darkest veil upheld by the belief in death and protected by its attraction.
Hmm.
The dedication to death and to its sovereignty is but the solemn vow, the promise made in secret to the ego, never to lift this veil, not to approach it, nor even to suspect that it is there. This is the secret bargain made with the ego to keep what lies beyond the veil forever blotted out and unremembered. Here is your promise never to allow union to call you out of separation. The great amnesia in which the memory of God seems quite forgotten. The cleavage of yourself, capital S, from you. The fear of God, the final step in your dissociation. Um, yeah, so I mean, well, the fear of death, obviously, it's covering the belief in death. Because if you're afraid of dying, you're going to believe that you're a body and can die. And so to be afraid of that would be to protect that belief. Um, and to protect that belief would mean that um, I have changed. I'm no longer as God created me eternally. Um, so that would be the belief in separation. Um, and another word for separation is dissociation. And I mean, think about it. The fear of death is so well ingrained. I mean, we go into survival mode like automatically, even without, being aware of it. So this is how well integrated the fear of God is. Like it says here, you don't even suspect that that veil is there. So, our because we say, well, God is love, but then we're afraid of it. So we almost confuse love with fear. You know, sometimes we do that. Okay, number 4. Is it your turn, Connie?
Sorry about that. I can't see the screen. Sun's too bright. Okay. See how the belief in death would seem to, quote unquote, save you. For if this were gone, what could you fear but life? It is the attraction of death that makes life seem to be ugly, cruel, and tyrannical. You are no more afraid of death than of the ego. These are your chosen friends, for in your secret alliance with them, you have agreed never to let the fear of God be lifted, so you could look upon the face of Christ and join him in his Father.
Yeah, so it would save the self that we made of ourself. Okay, because our true self doesn't need saving. Our true self is, you know, one with God and one with Christ's mind. So um, it's the ego self that we've made, um, or the body identity, which is what the ego says we are, that we would want to protect. Um, and the belief in death would protect those beliefs from being undone or corrected. Because it's basically holding on to fear, right? So if we're going to hold on to fear, we're going to miscreate, and we're not going to be able to heal the mind, because remember that healing is the release of fear.
Hmm.
So it would be a block to the healing of the mind. Yeah, and so the fear is not of the death itself or of the ego. So do you see the contradiction there? You are no more afraid of death than you are of the ego. These are your chosen friends, because that's the purpose that it's serving. It's serving to preserve the illusion. So that's why it would not really be um, it's a what is the word? It's a deception. So the real fear is what is underneath that, which would be the whole undoing of the ego thought system, and it would be the remembrance of God, which is the present memory, what the Course calls the present memory.
I still am really having trouble with this section. Yeah. And yeah, the attraction of death.
Remember in the other section where it talked about the attraction of death, it said that
Yeah,
the fear of death is basically the same as the attraction of death.
that's what it said.
Yes.
Yes.
So the fear of death is a way to support the belief that death really happens, and that it happens to us.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But if we know we're eternal, then we don't have that. But it is interesting to think, okay, the body will fall away. And then what? We just go on and pick up into another form. Nobody really knows.
Well, no, I mean this would be the last step here. See up here on paragraph 3, the last
Oh,
line
yeah,
there.
okay,
The
yeah,
final
okay,
step. So it would be the final step. So there would be
okay.
no more separation. So we would be one with God. Basically, that would be the end of perception.
So if I just were able to completely release my fear, that would be it.
Yes, because then there
Hmm.
would be no dissociation from the truth
Hmm.
of what we are with as a capital S self, which is the
Mm-hmm.
Christ, one Son of God,
Mm-hmm.
that is with its source, because it has never left its source, because the separation never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be the undoing, it would be the whole undoing of the projection of the belief in separation and the ego thought system. So it would be the undoing of perception, which was the first step in the separation. So it would just be pure knowledge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 5. Every obstacle that peace must flow across is surmounted in just the same way. The fear that raised it yields to the love beyond, and so the fear is gone. And so it is with this. The desire to get rid of peace and drive the Holy Spirit from you fades in the presence of the quiet recognition that you love Him. The exaltation of the body is given up, in favor of the Spirit, which you love as you could never love the body.
Mm-hmm.
And the appeal of death is lost forever, as love's attraction stirs and calls to you. From beyond each of the obstacles to love, love itself has called. And each has been surmounted by the power of the attraction of what lies beyond. Your wanting fear seemed to be holding them in place. Yet when you heard the voice of love beyond them, you answered and they disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the Holy Spirit. It's like the light within that shines away the darkness. The dark veil disappears. And that's what healing is. Because it's an undoing of all of the beliefs that are held onto in error. Um, yeah, so it's a change of mind, which is what the miracle is.
Yeah.
That's what this is talking about. Yeah. So from beyond each of the obstacles to love, love itself has called. So it's really a matter of not getting stuck in the fear to be able to,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that line 4. The exaltation of the body is given up in favor of the spirit, which you love as you could never love the body.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
Uh,
ego doesn't love anything. It doesn't love the body.
well, people just can be so attracted to the body. Oh my gosh. I know several people right now, kind of in my age group, who are getting all kinds of plastic surgery, and that's really interesting.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they love the body.
What
Uh,
does it mean? I
it
think it
means it,
does.
it means that they're no, they wouldn't be doing anything about it if they didn't hate the way the body looked.
Well, true. Yeah, they hate the body. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they have to try to
So,
change
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yet so
yeah.
that they don't hate themselves.
It's funny though, people who I think, some who are in this study, I'm like, really? Anyway, if it makes you happy, whatever. I just think that
Well, well, it goes with
it's
what we're reading, right? It's tied to the
exactly.
fear of God or the fear of death, because, for a lot of people, dying means you're going to face God. So it's not just that it's a fear of the death of the body, it's that it's the fear of leaving behind the body and then having to face your quote unquote maker and then having to be judged and, condemned possibly. So there's a lot of fear there for a lot of different reasons.
I wonder, will there be some sort of a big acknowledgement when we do meet the maker, when we finally have let go of all the bullshit?
What do you mean? Will there be an
What
acknowledgement?
will it just be a burst of light? Anyway, I don't know. It's a mystery.
Well, I don't, yeah, there's really no point in trying to imagine what it would be like
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we can't imagine it. It's not within the conceptual mind
right.
to be able to put into words. Everyone that has experienced, uh, revelation has no words to describe it.
Mm. True,
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Okay.
hmm Okay, number 6.
And now you stand in terror before what you swore never to look upon. Your eyes look down, remembering your promise to your quote unquote friends, the quote unquote loveliness of sin, the delicate appeal of guilt, the quote unquote holy waxen image of death, and the fear of vengeance of the ego you swore in blood not to desert, all rise and bid you not to raise your eyes. For you realize that if you look on this and let the veil be lifted, they will be gone forever. All of your quote unquote friends, your protectors, and your quote unquote home will vanish. Nothing that you remember now will you remember.
hmm
A whole nother amnesia
Well, it's not it's
of
not
the
an
illusion.
well, it's yeah, so it's not an amnesia in the sense that you have forgotten anything, okay? Because illusion is not anything.
There's nothing.
There's nothing there. It's imagination. It's like saying, "Oh, I woke up this morning, but I can't remember the dream I had." Well, okay, but it wasn't real, so why would that matter?
Ay, ay, ay. Oy.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it was interesting. There was a scene in a movie that we saw. It was let's see, with Julia Roberts. It was Eat, Pray, and Love. Have you heard of that one?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that
Yeah.
one.
Okay, so there's this scene towards the end, okay, where she's in Bali, okay, and she meets this man, right? And he falls in love with her, and he wants her to go off to this island with him for a couple of days, okay? And he said, what did he say? The words were to cross over with me,
To
okay?
what?
He
To
used the
what?
word cross over with
Hmm.
me, okay? And her face, total terror in her face. She like froze, completely froze. And it reminded me of this line here, because this whole time she was um, basically running away from love,
Hmm.
right? She went off to Italy and she enjoyed food with friends and everything, and then she went off to India, and it was all prayer. But she still made some beautiful connections,
Hmm.
wherever she went. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then, she comes, it's kind of like a full circle, right? She comes
Hmm.
back to love.
Yeah.
And boy, she was just ready to like she like got her airplane tickets. She basically said, "I'm out of here." Except that she went to talk to her kind of her guide.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he kind of brought up the idea of, well, what are you doing? You're running away from love, again.
right.
Yeah. So she reflected and she was able to go back and say, okay, yes, I will cross over with you. So even the word crossover, it's a way of saying um, that it's a rebirth, like, into a new way of being, a new way of living, um, instead of, the fear and the terror. She allowed herself to go underneath that, to
Yeah.
experience the love. Yeah. hmm Yeah. And so, I mean, so basically, if she wanted to be with this person, this is what would have happened. All of your friends, protectors, and your home would vanish. But she was already okay with that because she had kind of already, left that.
hmm
Yeah. So, okay, number 7. It seems to you the world will utterly abandon you if you but raise your eyes. Yet all that will occur is you will leave the world forever. This is the re-establishment of your will. Look upon it open-eyed, and you will never more believe that you are at the mercy of things beyond you, forces you cannot control, and thoughts that come to you against your will. It is your will to look on this. No mad desire, no trivial impulse to forget again. No stab of fear, nor the cold sweat of seeming death can stand against your will. For what attracts you from beyond the veil is also deep within you, unseparated from it and completely one. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I have a very what's the word? Very a, a, a very of a few moments where I could really experience this because there was no sense of being a victim at all. I I had my car keys and I misplaced them. Okay. And it's been like, 3 or 4 weeks. And
Oh,
it was a very narrow space of time where I had them and I had them in my pocket. And I went to our group on Thursday. And then I came back home and I got the sweater and then they weren't in the pocket anymore. Okay. So I thought maybe I just dropped them. Maybe they're in the car, but they weren't in the car. And I didn't find them at the place where we meet. So I just kind of left it alone. Okay. Because I didn't, there wasn't an urgency. I just borrowed my daughter's keys and we had
hmm
another car key. So I've just been managing with that. And then, the other day I was thinking about that because I told my husband, we can check to see how much it would cost to replace the key. So we were going to
hmm
go do that. And then, there was something about that situation. And I thought, well, because I kept staying with that story. Oh, I had it in my pocket and it was in my sweater. And then when I sat down to kind of, remember that, I thought, well, there was a very calm, there was this calmness. And I thought, well, before I go out and buy a new key, I should just look in my bag, the bag that I always take in. Okay. Because I don't remember putting it in the bag. Okay.
Huh.
But I go, if I didn't drop it anywhere and I don't believe there's any loss, okay? I go, I better check just that bag just before I decide, because we were going to go the next day. And I go, well, let me just look in here, right? So I look through all of the things. Sure enough, there they were.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that remind you of that time that you lost your wedding ring?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just several things like, yeah, that
Yeah.
have occurred. And yeah, it's like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, but in there was a sense
There
that
was a sense of trust and like not really concerned.
yes, but it's this part right here in line 4.
What?
You will never more believe that you are at the mercy of things beyond you, forces you cannot control, and thoughts that come to you against your will. So for a moment there was this sense that there was no one else. It was just me. So it was
Yeah.
impossible for me to lose those keys. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I could not have been a victim to circumstances.
So there would be no loss, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
would be, the loss would be impossible
And
because
yet,
because
and
had
yet though, you're going to replace them.
I was going to replace them, but the thought was, well, there is no loss. Okay. And that reminded me, well, then if there's no loss and that's the truth, I better check the bag, because just because I don't remember putting them in there doesn't mean I didn't do it. So obviously I did do it and I couldn't remember having done it.
Right, right.
Yeah. Because memories, remember, are a very distorted,
Oh,
limited perception.
no kidding. More and
Yeah.
more so. What?
Yeah. Yes.
Distorted.
Very distorted. And then we hold them as if they were true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And
if we
fight
don't
like
question,
heck.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes fight like heck to keep it. It's like,
Well,
well,
because, we want to be right, right?
we're so
We
sure. We're so certain.
exactly.
But that is a really strange thing, sometimes to feel so certain about something and then like, oh man, I was so wrong.
Well, that's because we're relying on our memory.
Hmm.
Okay. And so we're putting our trust, okay, in distortion, basically.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all distorted.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. Hmm.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
And the more we recognize that, the less attractive those uh, things that we make up are.
Yeah.
So we're not so easily likely to believe everything we think.
Jeez. Oh boy, what a crazy system we've set up.
Yeah, yeah,
Oof. Could it
yeah.
be any crazier? Really?
Well,
What
it's
we
only,
have
yeah,
done.
but the problem is not that it's crazy. The problem is that we believe it.
Believe it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we take it seriously. And that's why the course is so helpful, because, the forgiveness piece is to overlook the error. That's forgiveness. you overlook it because of course it's distorted. Of course someone's going to think they're right and they're not. So I just overlook it. I forgive it. Because I do it all the time.
Right. Yes. Oh, forgiveness, forgiveness.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, boy. Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. So
Lifting the veil. Oh,
lifting the veil.
well, it is your will. Hmm.
It's the reestablishment of your will. So it's a recognition that nothing happens without my consent.
Hmm. Hmm.
And and because nothing happens without my consent, then there's no point in blaming anything. There's no
Hmm.
point in judging anything. Okay. If nothing happens without my consent and it is my will, okay, then I either look at it and forgive it. And, and
Hmm.
I think, okay, well, then there's a lesson here for me to learn.
Yeah,
Okay. Because,
that's, yeah,
yeah, because if I don't like it, if it doesn't feel good, well, then I need to change my mind because these are the thoughts that are producing these effects. And if I don't want those effects, then I need to question those thoughts and not believe them.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just go to the blank screen. There's nothing really there. It's all made up.
It's all made up. And that's why we want to forgive it. We're forgiving illusions.
Hmm.
We're not forgiving reality. And that's why there is no guilt. No one is guilty. No one is sinful. And there is no reason to fear.
Oh, wouldn't it be a little simpler? The things we have to overlook, the seeming things. It's like, oh my
Well,
God, really?
yeah, well, it's simple
Yeah,
because it's all there, it's all in error, right?
big effing error.
Yeah, so the specifics, once you start, you don't really even have to really pay attention to the specifics. You just
Hmm,
know it's an error,
the whole thing.
the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I think that's where it gets dicey when you start looking at, yeah, individual things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a good
Mm-hmm.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all, it's all nothing.
It's all nothing. Exactly. Yeah. And then we can have peace, you see.
And we still want to have the love. Well, that's all there is, and the joy.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's lift that veil, see the
It,
Christ,
yeah. Hmm.
see the
And that's
Christ
and that's really the only purpose, right?
of what?
Of everything is the love.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the it's the love. So
Yes, we seem to have forgotten
hmm.
some of us have.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then next time we'll go ahead to the lifting of the veil. Yay.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay, Connie,
that'll be
thank you.
good. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.